So we got here, and the first thing we saw was the key wouldn't turn in the ignition of the car. And we had no lights, couldn't turn the headlights on, the battery was dead. So once we got it jumped, it started right up. Now, the workshop suspension air is always on this car. Yeah, it doesn't have any other errors right now. Obviously then too, since the battery was dead, we don't have any codes in the car. So we're gonna go take it for a test drive and see if we can get the transmission issue to act back up again. We're out on the test drive right now. And there appears to be a short with the headlights on that. As the turn signals flash, so do the headlights. It's really annoying. Okay, so we took it for a pretty good test drive here, and my sister didn't mention until the end of the test drive, or near the end, that it had given the transmission codes when they were trying to get it jump started earlier. They thought the car had a dead battery. They tried jumping it, they couldn't get it to start, but they were using a smaller jump pack and they were trying to jump from the battery. And usually with these, it's better to jump them from the posts under the hood. It'll start easier that way. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling here. I'm trying to get my scan tool to reset. But there are no codes after the test drive. Like I said, we have the normal suspension error, and this has a few light errors. I need to check the boards in the back. But it drove fine for the entire drive. It drives fine in automatic mode. If you put it into manual shifting, it drives fine. We did some sustained driving at 55, 60 miles an hour. Fine. It does in town just fine. And then after the test drive, we got the battery charged some. Starts right up, no problem. So hopefully it's going to be good. This car does have an intermittent problem we've been trying to work through for quite a while. Not the suspension one. We just gave up on that. I've done quite a bit to get the air suspension on this car to get it back to working. Just about everything has been replaced, but for some reason we still can't get it to come out of sport mode and go into comfort. And none of my scan tools will tell me what the workshop error is. Even my bigger Matco isn't giving me a reading. If anyone at Indy has access to Mercedes diagnostic software, like factory stuff, I'd love to borrow it for a little bit to figure out what's going on with this thing. But it has an intermittent charging problem. It'll happen once every couple months maybe. It'll give a battery warning error and a charging warning error, and it'll do it for maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then it disappears. The battery has been replaced probably in the last 2 years. The car has a newer alternator. We've done voltage drop tests on all the charging wires and all the wires to the battery. They're all good. We've cleaned all the terminals and connections. There's no corrosion, so not much on the diagnosis of this one, but it's an ongoing project, so I'll let you guys know if we find anything else out with it. Who says we're not good neighbors? We got tired of seeing that broken limb hanging down all morning, so we just went ahead and broke it off. We're going to throw it in our fire pit. So we're heading to Plainfield. Those Duramaxes and that Power Stroke that we've been working on lately, they all work for a local pool contractor. And the house we're heading to, this guy that owns the company, he's been wanting to meet up with us for a while since we've been doing some work on that. And the backhoe, forgot about that, that's his as well. But they've been really happy with our work lately. They've taken us on for all of their repair work. But he's got a Volkswagen Super Beetle that he's got some issues with. So we're going to go take a look at it and see if we can get something worked out with him on getting that project up and going for him. I'm not sure if he's going to be okay with us recording while we're there, but if we can, we'll go ahead and record while we're working. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but the axles come off the flange there. So we're going to take it the rest of the way off. Check the bolts on it. Make sure it hasn't broken any of them off, and see what the threads look like on the end of them. So we've definitely got some bolts messed up. And then 2 of the holes on the flange have bad threads. So I already looked. The flanges are like $60 from MP, so I'll probably just order new flanges. I'm going to pull the other side apart now and see what it looks like. So we just left the customer's house and we've got a pretty nasty storm rolling in. Luckily, the shop is away from the storm, so hopefully I will be able to beat it back to the shop. Man, we got all kinds of stuff coming down here. There have been some big tree limbs down already in the 2 blocks I've driven. We are going to go ahead and order CV boots for it. We're going to order the 2 flanges that go on the transmission. And then the car is a recent purchase, Tim, and he said it's having some hot start issues. So we're going to go ahead and get a tune-up kit coming for it as well. I don't know if I mentioned too, it's got some bent bolts. So I'm going to have to extract those bolts out of the flanges, or not flanges, the CVs. And we're going to go ahead and put new hardware in it. So, not a huge deal. Should be a pretty quick and easy project once we get over there. But I'm going to hop off here. This storm's actually blowing my truck around pretty good, so I'm going to focus on driving and getting back to the shop. But that Volkswagen project should be coming up soon here. Should be something good.